Today, we will be exploring a significant passage in the Bible found in Matthew 10:5-6. In this scripture, Jesus imparts a specific instruction to his disciples, guiding them to concentrate on the lost sheep of Israel rather than the Gentiles. This seemingly exclusive guidance sparks questions about the identity of the lost sheep and the apparent contradiction when, later in the scriptures, Jesus commands outreach to the Gentiles. Let's delve into 5 key aspects that will help to unravel some insights into Jesus' strategic mission and its relevance for believers today. 1. Identity of the lost sheep. The term lost sheep of Israel metaphorically refers to the Jewish people who were spiritually adrift or disconnected from their covenant with God. Jesus, as the Messiah, prioritizes their spiritual reconnection and redemption. In Jeremiah 56 it says, "My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have led them astray and caused them to roam on the mountains. They wandered over mountain and hill and forgot their own resting place." This verse explicitly refers to the people of Israel as lost sheep. The metaphor of the lost sheep emphasizes their spiritual wandering and the role of their shepherds, leaders, in leading them astray. This aligns with the concept of the lost sheep of Israel that Jesus later addresses in the New Testament. 2. Fulfillment of prophecy. Jesus' emphasis on the lost sheep aligns with Old Testament prophecies about a Messiah coming for the salvation of Israel. This directive ensures the fulfillment of these prophetic promises, establishing Jesus as the fulfillment of God's plan. It says in Ezekiel 34:23-24, "I will place over them one shepherd, my servant David, and he will tend them. He will tend them and be their shepherd. I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David will be prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken." In this passage, there is a promise of a coming shepherd, referred to as my servant David, who will tend to the sheep. The use of the term David is often understood as a messianic reference, pointing to a future descendant of David who would shepherd and care for the people of Israel. This aligns with the concept of Jesus as the Good Shepherd in the New Testament, fulfilling the Old Testament prophecies related to the lost sheep of Israel. 3. Contradiction in commands. At first glance, there appears to be a contradiction when Jesus instructs the disciples to avoid the Gentiles initially, but later commissions them to go to all nations, Matthew 28:19. This apparent discrepancy highlights the unfolding nature of Jesus' mission, evolving from a focused ministry to Israel to a global outreach. Jesus prioritized the fulfillment of promises made in the covenant between God and Israel, establishing a foundational ministry. By initially focusing on the lost sheep, he emphasized a covenantal priority, ensuring the fulfillment of promises to the chosen people before extending the message to the Gentiles. 4. Strategic ministry approach. In his earthly ministry, Jesus strategically approached his mission with careful consideration. By initially directing his efforts toward the lost sheep of Israel, Jesus laid the groundwork for a more profound impact. This strategic approach allowed him to establish a solid foundation of understanding among the Jewish community. This approach also aligned with the idea that Israel was to be a light to the world, serving as an example of God's redemptive grace and paving the way for a broader global impact. Focusing on the lost sheep provided an opportunity to convey his teachings, perform miracles, and cultivate disciples who would later play a pivotal role in spreading the message to a broader Gentile audience. This intentional approach ensured that the core followers of his message took root within the context of the covenantal relationship with Israel before extending the outreach to encompass a more global perspective. 5. Contemporary application. In today's context, believers can learn from Jesus' strategic approach to ministry. Starting locally and prioritizing foundational spiritual growth is key. mirroring Jesus' initial focus on the lost sheep of Israel. This intentional beginning allows for a solid foundation before expanding outreach efforts, yet the overarching goal for believers is global. In echoing Jesus' command to go to all nations, believers are prompted to keep a broader perspective. The emphasis remains on local communities and spiritual foundations, but the ultimate aim is to share the gospel globally, fulfilling Jesus' directive for a universal proclamation of the good news. In conclusion, Jesus' instruction to prioritize the lost sheep of Israel in Matthew 10:5-6 reflects a strategic approach to fulfill prophecy and establish a foundation for broader outreach. The seeming contradiction with later commands underscores the evolving nature of Jesus' mission, offering lessons for believers today. The application involves recognizing the importance of a strategic and evolving ministry, prioritizing local outreach while embracing a global perspective in sharing the gospel.